in place to keep us in chains. By show of hands, who else is sick and tired of the same? 1% trying to keep us small, trying to keep us from getting out. Minimizing the struggles they've caused, saying we're not working hard enough.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the thousands in attendance and for the millions watching at home, DCK Productions proudly brings to you the greatest podcast in the world! The greatest podcast in the world? Suck it. No, you suck it. No, you suck it. No, you suck it. No, you suck it. I appreciate it if you both suck it. Suck it!
We really should stop this fighting. Otherwise we'll miss the fireworks.
There won't be any fireworks.
And here we go.
I fucked up. My mic was muted. Let's try this again. And welcome everybody to Suck It. I am the great and powerful King of Kings, Prince of all that is awesome. Derek, how is everybody tonight? It is Thursday, October 1st of the horrible year that has been 2020. It is so weird to say that. It is October 1st already. Whoo! Whoo! In fucking sane. That's all I gotta say. Insane. You know, it felt like yesterday was September. Did everyone remember to wake up Green Day? Just saying. Did everyone remember to wake up Green Day? If you don't get that joke, I don't know what's wrong with you. Hey, that song, Wake Me Up When September Ends. It was a joke. Apparently didn't go over well. So that's cool. So, some fun and interesting stuff going on in the lovely world that is today. I'm so sick of. I can barely watch TV anymore. You know, commercials come on, it's like, okay, I'm just gonna change it, do something else, and move on with my fucking day, because I just can't anymore. I can't. These campaign ads, and the coronavirus, and then this, and then that, and then that, and then that. Just, when is it gonna end? You know, I'm trying to stay positive. I'm trying to be, you know, the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm trying to have some fun with it all, but damn, it's just this rolling ball of shit. But isn't that how it goes? It's just how it goes. So today is Friday Eve. Whew. Looking forward to the weekend. You know, right now in Northern Virginia, it's about 55 degrees. It's supposed to get down to like 45 tonight. Windows are open. The fall leaves are starting to change. And it just, so beautiful. I hope, you know, everyone else is enjoying a cool down. If you're not, I'm sorry. But if you are, enjoy it, because it's nice. So nice. So, I do have a guest tonight, like I do every night, but I'm not sure where he is. So I'm going to text my PR lady and find out what's going on. So I'm going to wait for her to text me back and see what she says. But anyway, like I said, I'm not going to focus on that at all, because it's just not something I want to even play with. Because, again, it's just one of those things where it's like, do I even want to bother? No, we're going to talk about some fun stuff here tonight. So, while I'm doing that, I get my damn computer to work. All right. So, I've done this segment before. I'm going to do it again, because it's fun. One of my favorite sections of Reddit is the Today I Learned section. Some people will go there often, some people don't. But I enjoy it. It's funny as shit. And I'm going to read you some of the things that today I learned about. Today I learned, in 2014, Pope Francis said he would baptize aliens if they asked. He did not want to close doors to green Martians with long noses and big ears, and that's in quotes. In 2010, a papal astronomer also said he would baptize aliens if asked. He said, any entity, no matter how many tentacles, it has a soul. So that's fun. Yeah. Today I learned that major Pentagon officials once called Five Guys and requested them to break their no delivery rule. Not only did they refuse, the restaurant's founder ordered a 22-foot banner saying absolutely no delivery and hung it in the front of the store. Business from the Pentagon employees actually increased because of this. You know, that's pretty funny that the fucking government think they can just call, you know, I know you have a policy where you don't want to, you know, deliver food because, you know, whatever the case might be. But we're going to try anyway. We're the fucking Pentagon, motherfuckers. Yeah, we're not listening to you. No. I don't think you understand. We're the fucking Pentagon. We can fucking bomb you in like 5 seconds. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. We're not delivering you food. And besides, even if they were going to deliver food, why the fuck would anyone want to have to deal with the security to go to the fucking Pentagon just to bring some fucking burgers? Here, I know you're just bringing us burgers, but that could be a bomb. Let me go ahead and pat you down. Fucking shit. Yeah. All right. Today I learned that Freddie Mercury spent his last months recording as many vocals as he could for the rest of Queen to finish after his death. I actually knew that beforehand. I'm a big Freddie Mercury fan, as most of you guys know. And, yeah, I mean, dude was frail and feeble, you know, his last few months, but he wanted to continue his legacy, and, you know, I get it. Rest his soul. But anyway, moving on. The last duel fought in Canada was in 1873 over a woman. Upon turning and firing, one duelist fell to the ground. Both duelists unknowingly had blanks loaded in their guns by their seconds. The one man fell because he fainted with fear. That's pretty fucked up. To where you have a second that's gonna fucking load your gun, and they load them with blanks. Now, was there a fucking, like, you know, a coup going on, and they just kind of worked together and said, hey, we're gonna fucking do this? Or did they just both think that simultaneously? Because if they did, that's pretty fucked up. Because say, for instance, one of them was like, you know, actually, I want this bitch for myself, so I'm gonna go ahead and put blanks. That's fucked up. I will pay you $100. Woo! Man, people are fucking funny. Today I learned an Indian man lost his mother as his village had no ambulance, so he vowed that no one should die because of lack of transportation to any medical facility. Thereafter, he converted his own bike into an ambulance to transfer poor villagers to nearby hospitals for free. That's pretty cool. Good for him. So here's another one. Today I learned Biz Markie. Everyone knows the rapper Biz Markie. He made a couple appearances in like Men in Black and had a really unique style and voice. But he also was known for his song Just a Friend. But you say he's just a friend. But you say, oh baby, you know what I'm talking about. Exactly, that's how he sounded too. But none of the people he invited showed up at the studio, so he sang the song himself. He wasn't supposed to sing the chorus at all. So he did it himself, even though he's got a terrible voice. Oh, baby, you got what I need. That's pretty insulting. How many fucking people did he invite that just didn't decide to show up? You know? Is that just what happens? You know, people just kind of like, you know, hey, whatever, it's cool. Ugh. All right. Today I learned that the mere existence of other galaxies in the universe has only been known by humans for roughly 100 years. Before that, it was believed that the Milky Way contained every star in the universe. I had an idea of that. I just wasn't sure about the timeline. Today I learned that George Washington was so afraid of being buried alive that he wanted his seemingly deceased body to be laid out for 3 days, just to make sure that he was really dead. Whoa. Is that where lying in state comes from? Just curious. Because, that'd be stanky. Damn, back then, too, you know, in the 1800s, you know, shit. I don't think they had preservation tools back then. Or did they? I don't fucking know. Today I learned during his tenure, Theodore Roosevelt had a lion, a coyote, a hyena, a black bear, and a zebra living on White House grounds at various times. Also, he shot 11,397 creatures, including endangered animals. He also hired people to find remains of a mammoth, which he was successful in procuring. Theodore Roosevelt, good old Teddy Roosevelt, kept a hyena, black bear, coyote, lion, a zebra on White House grounds. That's pretty messed up. Can you imagine if somebody did that today? Can you imagine what PETA would do to that motherfucker? Oh my God. There's just some things you just don't do, and that's one of them. You know? That's just one of them. Today I learned that the FDA allows food manufacturers to include up to 20% more calories, sugars, total fat, saturated fat, cholesterol, and sodium than they declare in the nutrition facts on the label. So, little 411 for everybody out there. When it says fat-free, or when it says half the fat, anytime they lower the fat content, they up the sugar content. Okay? Therefore, they can keep some flavor and, you know, keep some other stuff going on. So just keep that in mind, especially, you know, if you are, you know, trying to lose weight. Because on top of that, if you're trying to lose weight, and you know, by no means am I telling you how to shop or am I, you know, a dietitian. No, I'm just a, you know, ex-athlete who, you know, used to be a personal trainer as well and stuff like that and has a bit of a knowledge about nutritional health. So I'm just going to tell you this. Don't shop the aisles. Shop the perimeter. Produce. Vegetables. You know, well, produce is vegetables, but produce, meat, deli, dairy, frozen, those types of stuff, that's where I would stick with. Even if you were like, you know, buy pasta, my suggestion is go to the deli section and buy the fresh pasta in the cooler section, you know, that kind of stuff. You know, just keep it simple, stupid. Okay? That's with me. But that is a fact. 20% more calories, sugars, total fat, saturated fat, cholesterol, and sodium than they declare on the nutritional facts. Whew. That can add up real quick. Today I learned a German man reported his car stolen in 1997 and found it 20 years later. It was in the same spot where he left it, but was so old by that point that he could no longer drive it. So it wasn't really stolen. He just forgot where the fuck he parked it, apparently. How fucking smart is that guy? Today I learned that the MS in MSNBC stands for Microsoft, as the network is a collaboration between Microsoft and NBC. I did not know. I did not know that. That's pretty fucking cool. And the joke that I made now has a Today I Learned section. Today I learned that Wake Me Up When September Ends by Green Day is about lead singer Billy Joe Armstrong's father dying of esophageal cancer on September 1st, 1982, when Billy was 10 years old. That sucks. Just a reminder. Make sure Green Day got woken up today. All right, so that is the Today I Learned section of Reddit. And my guest has joined me. Or it looks like he has. So, my guest tonight is a filmmaker, a novelist, and a medical advocate. I can't talk today. Medical advocate. Wrote a book, does a lot of cool stuff, and we're going to have a nice conversation about some stuff tonight and kind of talk about some stuff that really kind of matters. Especially with today being the kickoff of National Breast Cancer Month. I'm sure he's got some opinions on that kind of stuff as well, and I can see him shaking his head in the green room right now, so I'm sure he's got a lot to say, and I'm going to be the megaphone for him to say it. So please, without any further ado, please welcome to the show, Mr. JT Madicus.
Thanks for having me. So sorry about the mix-up.
What happened?
My alarm didn't remind me, and I thought for some reason something's not right.
That's all good, man. I always have a backup plan if somebody's running a little bit late. That's no big deal.
Oh, good. So sorry about that. I'm here now. I'm here. I'm after,
exactly. No, it's all good, man. It's all good. I have no problems with it. But anyway, how are you? How's everything going?
Man, it's been crazy. I mean, we had the coronavirus, and now we have fires everywhere.
I know, right?
You know, I wear a mask, so I haven't been shaving. So it's been crazy. It's the air quality is horrible in this area, and I feel like I think we lost more deaths in the last month in Northern California and probably in Southern California due to the air quality than we have to the coronavirus, which is
really
it's very concerning. Yeah. Oh yeah. You think about it. Your body is a machine, and if your body, say, is an engine, and an engine needs air, that's why it has an air intake, and that air intake gets clogged, well, the engine kind of dies.
Yeah.
And your lungs are that kind of air intake. If it gets clogged up, you suffer. Or if you have, say, a weakened system, maybe you're elderly or you're an asthmatic. Then it's rough, and people get sent to the hospitals, and it's a tough situation.
Yeah, I mean, especially with coronavirus the way it is, and affecting breathing and stuff like that. I'm sure that's not helping. It causes anything anyway. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if you have a virus on top of the smoke. So let's say you're trying to recover from the virus. And then all of a sudden now you have smoke you also have to deal with. That also can send you, it's kind of a double-edged sword right there, send you to the hospital and put you on, God forbid, a ventilator where they stick a tube down your throat basically to help you breathe, which is
no fun.
No fun.
It's no fun. I've been there, done that, and I don't know. It's not fun. But I mean, the smoke from the fires I've heard is reached as far as like New York and stuff like that.
Yeah, the smoke just doesn't disappear. I mean, we've burned so much acreage, in this year alone, I think that we always have this carbon saying every year we're allowed a certain amount of carbon emission, and this year alone, I think we're probably about 5 years of carbon emission for the state of California alone, and we're still on fire. So we if there is climate change, we're not helping the situation. With,
Definitely not. No.
Nope.
Yeah. So, I did a little bit of research about you. I don't do too much research on my guests. So I like to hear. Well, I don't. The reason why is because everything that I want to know about you is going to come from your mouth. I like to know stuff about you. Why am I going to go read the exact same article that was done about you a couple different times and get the exact same answers? And I don't want to hear it from the article. I want to hear it from you directly. Because that's what starts a real conversation, and that's how I like. Because it's not an interview; it's a conversation. So therefore, we're gonna have real in-depth conversations. Because especially for me, if I already know the answer to the question, I'm not gonna ask you about it for the audience to know. But now I'm just as curious as the audience is, so that's how I usually do things. But I do know that you went to med school. I know you went and did a lot of cool stuff, and now you've kind of transitioned to what you're doing now. What kind of led to what you're doing now? I mean, how did you get to this point?
So I was in med school for a long time, about 5 years, and I was kind of hopping from different medical school to different medical school. A couple of reasons. One, I was ill for about 4 of those years, and I kind of just went through the medical school. Left it for a while to get diagnosed, looking for a final diagnosis, hence my title of my series for the novel. And finally, I ended up going to 3 different medical schools. The second medical school, as I was leaving it and transitioning into the third medical school, I had a eureka moment. I diagnosed myself. And so I went to the third medical school, got healthy, got cured, got diagnosed, had surgery in Poland to cure my illness. And I'm not going to mention the illness because if you want to know more about it, you got to read my book. You got to read my novel. It's a lot of it's based off of my experience getting this final diagnosis. Of course, my disease is not the only disease you'll find in the novel. And so after I got healthy, actually, I became, I think, more likable. When you're suffering, when you have a chronic illness, you're kind of a miserable person. And I dated girls, but I don't think the girls liked dating me. I wasn't very pleasant. I was always in pain. I was suffering. I was cranky. I wasn't sleeping well.
Yeah.
I looked like in a sense, I kind of looked like a drug addict. And so I got healthy. I met the woman of my dreams. We got pregnant first and got married. It kind of happened in different order than usual that most people go through. And I was happy. I was looking forward to a life. I had hope, and I said, you know what? I've been kind of studying medicine, getting burned out, and I was ready to take a break. And so I took a break. I have two kids. 3 would be too many, but I have 2 kids, and I'm raising them. And I said, you know what? I'm going to give them the 5 years until they're 5, and then I will look into going back to medical school. And so now that they're at 4. My oldest is 4, so I got a couple more years left. Youngest is around 3, and in between these years, I thought if I'm going to go back to medical school, I better keep my medical knowledge up to par with what's going on. And so I study medicine. I still study medicine, read the journals and things like that, and I teach medicine on a YouTube channel called Future Doc House, which led to helping students pass their license exams as well as their exams, and creating medical questions, multiple choice medical questions to help them pass their exams. And so with this creativity going in there, led to the first, nonfiction book I wrote, which was Is There a Doctor Aboard? And from there to the novel, which is fictitious, but based on real medicine, based on real diseases. Final diagnosis, no second chances. So there's the nutshell.
That's quite awesome. I know what it's like to live with a chronic illness as well. I mean, it all depends on your definition, but I suffer from severe mental illness. You know, and you know the pain is real on a mental level. I suffer from chronic pain as well from breaking my neck a few years back. But that's neither here nor there. But the mental illness is what kills me on a daily basis. And you're right. I mean, unfortunately for me, I can never be cured. And, you know, if I miss my pills one day, or if I'm just having a bad, you know, bipolar day, you know, I'm an asshole to be around, and it's horrible. And you're 100%, you hit the nail on the head. And, you know, and that's one of the big things that I like to advocate for on this show is, doesn't matter what your illness is. If you need help, get help, because you're not only affecting yourself, but you're affecting the people around you that love you and care about you. And you're only going to push them away, and then end up alone, and then God knows what will happen.
Oh no, I'm right there with you. You know, I've got the bipolar tendencies as well, and you know, I mean, you think about it. You know, everyone asked me, you know, you wrote a novel, and then you produced a film, you know, and now you're starting this Med BuzzFeed YouTube channel. Like, when are you going to stop? You know, when are you going to stop being this kind of you know, situation? You know, up and down and all around, in a sense. And don't forget, Med BuzzFeed. I'm playing 3 personalities. I'm you know, the host, JT Madicus. I'm also future Doc House, the lecturer on medicine. And then there's another character named Jessica, where she's the millennial intern that I also play as well. So, you know, I'm right there with you. It's you know, people ask, how can you play three alter egos? Well, you might have to have a bit of a mental issue to be able to do that. So I get it.
Yeah, I would say I definitely have some other alternate personalities when I'm, you know, in a certain state of mind. It's no fun. I like to joke about it. Like when I'm having not a manic day, a depressed day. I like to call him Bipolar Bob. And you know, Bipolar Bob is just, you know, my worst enemy. He can beat my ass. I love my manic days where I'm all excited and happy and yeah. But those are becoming actually a lot more frequently lately, thankfully. So
that's good. That's good.
Yes. Oh yeah. Because I mean, my meds are finally right. I think I'm finally starting to get on the path of, you know, wellness. But it's definitely a war that I'll never win. But damn it, I'm gonna win a bunch of battles in the meantime.
Keep fighting, brother. Keep fighting.
Absolutely. So what made you decide, you know, I know you said you were going to go back to medical school and you were kind of sitting at home, you know, taking care of your kids, which is phenomenal. You know, what made you decide to start writing a book and produce a film and all this other stuff? Were you just bored? Was it something that you've always wanted to do? I mean, what was it? What came about that way?
I think I wrote the first chapter. I wrote the first chapter on my iPhone. I just kind of got into this whole like state, this whole different kind of situation where it's like, you know, if you know, how would I have if I was a genius doctor, how would I have approached this case, this situation where you know, you have a chronically ill patient. He's, you know, he might be crazy, but he's got, you know, he's got something. He's in medical school, you know, and so what is really wrong with him? Well, and all these different symptoms, and which symptom is really related, which symptom is not related, you know, and trying to get a final diagnosis. And so I kind of created these say characters, or say alter egos, maybe even that are kind of me, but not me. And you've got the genius doctor, you've got the angry I call him anger management doctor, who is really always angry. And then you've got like the hacker doctor, who's very good with computers and knows how to kind of take data in and process it and come to a diagnosis. And then you've got I call him the pharmacist, but he's a doctor, he's an MD, but he knows his medicine, he knows drugs, and he knows what to do with which chemical compounds can really treat and cure a patient. Put these 4 into a room, lock them up, and say, "Come to a diagnosis, or you die." You know, and there you go. There's the premise of the novel, and that's why it's a medical spy thriller in a sense.
Yeah. So, was writing that book kind of what's the word?
Cathartic?
Yeah, cathartic. There you go. Thank you. Was it?
Yeah. I just kind of, because you don't want to blame the 12 specialists for not finding the diagnosis. You kind of want to understand where they're coming from and why they kept on going in different directions, and try to, be a devil's advocate in a sense. But on the same note, you're kind of upset and disappointed that these 12 specialists couldn't come to a diagnosis, and you suffered for 4 years of your life, which is, I guess, not that bad. It could be worse. And yeah, so it was cathartic. And you added, and you write this, and then you give these characters and bring them to life, and then you bring in different other diseases and other scenarios, and you throw in a powerful agency, say like the CIA agency that gets involved in there, and it's very James Bondish in a sense. We have it set in Europe and things like that. So. Yeah, it was fun, and I traveled all over the world. I've been to Brazil and all over Europe and Japan and China, of course. That's my heritage. So, I throw all these experiences into a novel, and I wrote the first chapter. I sent it off to a buddy of mine she's an avid reader, and she loved it. And she can be critical, and she loved it. She said, "When's the next chapter?" I was like, "Are you serious? I mean, you're not just saying this to make me feel better about myself, even though I like feeling better about myself. Who doesn't?" But
exactly.
If you really want the second chapter, I'll write it. She's like, "Continue writing it, finish it, and then send me the book." And I'm like, "Okay." So I just kept plowing through it, and I think in a year's time we had something final, and we sent it off to the editor and all that stuff. And here we are.
So what was it like, holding that first copy in your hand?
Oh, wow. It was real. It was real. It was really, really cheaply printed, the first edition. But it was real, and it was falling apart in my hands. But we got it fixed. So it's really it's amazing. I never thought I'd be a writer. When I was in college, my writing, I think we have to do English 101. I got a C. Maybe a C+, I don't know, can't remember. He wasn't a very friendly teacher. And then the second one, English 102, I got a D, and she definitely wasn't a friendly teacher. And I never thought I'd be a novelist or a writer or anything. And I thought, oh, okay, so I'm not going to be an English major or English writer. And here I am, writing something that people enjoyed and hopefully will enjoy, those that purchased a novel. And it was real, and it's driven me to continue the series. So there's 5 books in the series. So the second one's actually 90% done. I still have to have a look over it, add some final touches, and then it's going to be off to the editor. So there we go.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. So now that you've done this and you've already produced a movie as well, in a couple years' time when that 5-year mark is up, are you still looking to go back into medicine, or are you, wanting to continue to pursue this? I mean, what exactly are you looking to do now?
I think I still have time. Definitely I need to finish my novel series one way or another. If I receive very good, say, feedback for the movie, I guess we'll continue that direction. But I find myself not desiring to be the producer. It was a lot of work.
Oh yeah.
Stressful, and I would love to have say a professional even take over that role and continue that journey. Obviously, based off of my input, because I'm obviously the creator. And then of course, I think everyone keeps telling me it's a shame that I didn't finish medicine. I obviously have a very good knowledge of it, and I get a lot of feedback from I get the trolls. Who doesn't get the trolls on Future Doc House, the lecture series?
Yeah.
But I also get the ones that privately email me and say, look, I hope you get this email. I just wanted to say thank you. I became a doctor because of your videos, and that really makes me one, happy that I could do that. 2, It's a bit sad that I didn't end up being a doctor, and having that MD after my, I guess, my name. So I think who knows, but definitely it would be a shame if I didn't become a doctor. I guess in the sense that's the the gist of it, I guess.
Yeah. And I mean, also, if that was something that you always had your heart set on, being a doctor or stuff like that, especially from what I understand, especially in Asian culture, I mean, that's the epitome of you made it, is being a doctor. I have a lot of Asian friends. It was especially in the comedy community that I would run in. It's like, I was going to be a comedian. I always wanted to be a comedian, but my mom wanted me to be a doctor. And if you're either a doctor, a lawyer, or somebody in finance, and if you're not one of those things, you failed in your parents' eyes. I mean, now obviously that's a joke version of it, but I do have a lot of friends that are like, they almost pushed me out of the house and laughed at me for wanting to do something else. So I mean, but at the same time, if it was something that you dearly wanted to do, and you can manage a way to do both, that's fantastic, because it's only going to help your career as a writer, to make sure you're staying up and stuff like that. But then also the level of satisfaction you get from helping people on the medical side, and that's a big key.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when even to this day, I get people to ask me advice about medicine. Whether it's a heart condition, a thyroid condition, diabetes, even all that stuff. But the best ones, I guarantee it, the best ones are when, say, a 20 to 30-year-old comes to me and goes, "I've got a rash." Where? Down there. I'm like, oh my. What? Who did you? No. What? No. You know what? I don't even want to know. Does it burn? Yeah. Okay. Burns. Is there is there a yellow discharge coming? Yeah. Okay. You're gonna need to go. I can't prescribe the medicine. I'm not a doctor. You need to go to your doctor and ask for this drug and why. Here's why. Get the antibiotics. And get tested for the other stuff too while you're there. Jesus. But and if I had $1 for every time I got one of those, say, help me. I'm like, but on the same note, it's also fun to help. When I had a friend who was diagnosed with lupus, and I'm like, what? It's never lupus. It really is never lupus. But he had lupus, and I went through it, and I couldn't find it any other way to explain what he had except it being lupus. And I said, wow, you are, it's a shame because it's chronic and it's rare. And I'm sorry, the doctors are right. It was tough. It was tough to actually confirm that, a good friend of mine has this horrible illness. It's horrible. But it is what it is.
Yeah, my mother-in-law has lupus as well. And she had to go like 5 different specialists to just confirm it. You're right. It's misdiagnosed all the time, but she went to 5 different specialists before they finally came to that conclusion. And it's rough on her. So I definitely feel for your friend there. I know that for a fact. All right. But with that being said, I'm going to take a quick commercial break and we're going to go into some more stuff here and we'll be right back. Guys, ever wonder how I get this manly beard looking so good? It's all because of Viking Revolution. And at Viking Revolution, not only can you get some great beard balms, but you can also get some great beard oils, as well as some awesome quick shower pads, which helps prevent you stanking up after the gym. Also, these great wet wipes, which help prevent, stanky after going doo-doo. And also some pomades and some other great products, all at Viking Revolution. So do yourself a favor, go to dcproductions.com/sponsors, click on the banner, and get yourself some of these great products. Viking Revolution. Join the revolution. All right, we're back.
All right.
So one of the things that I did research about you is because this kind of touched my heart, and it was kind of a big thing for a lot of people, is your medical activist side. With all the, for lack of a better word, let's just call it what it is. all the bullshit in this country, that goes on in the medical system, whether it's big pharma, whether it's insurance companies, or whether it's, oh, sorry, you don't have insurance, and we're gonna treat them and street them, and stuff like that. There's a lot of reasons why you could be an advocate. Why are you?
Because I've been in the system. You think about it. Chronic illness for 4 of those years of my life. I'm still a young guy. And then, of course, I've had 13 knee operations. I've had both of my shoulders. It's called a subacromial impingement decompression. And I've had 2 eye surgeries for something called strabismus, a wandering eye. I mean, I've been in this system. I've poured thousands of dollars into the healthcare system just because of my issues. On top of that, I have to buy insurance, which is not cheap. And a family of 4, I'm paying $2,000, and yeah, I could pay less. I could actually get a job and have my employer pay something, right? Whatever. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, and that's not it. You're talking about, all right, you're paying $2,000 a month, for medical insurance. You go see the doctor. You got to pay something like a $50 to $75 copay just to see the doctor, and then every time they touch you, X-ray, an injection here, whatever. Those are all billable things that the insurance doesn't pay 80% of until you reach a minimum. So you have to spend $6,000 on top of your $2,000 a month for the year before the insurance kicks in their 80% payment. So, at the end of the day, I'm spending, say, $30,000 before I even get the insurance to come in and help me out here. And that's that. And the only reason I keep doing this is because one knee surgery is going to cost me $15,000, and so there's my $6,000 into that pot, and they will pay 80% of the other $9,000. My wife giving birth, is not as expensive as a knee, but still it's up there. You're talking about a $10,000 situation. So 2 kids, $1,000. And this is me, and I'm fortunate. I can afford $24,000 a year for a family of 4 to pay for the insurance, let alone on top of that whatever I need to pay if there is some medical crisis. But what about the other people, the other, say, 99% that we always are fighting for, who has to have a job to have insurance, and then on top of that, they still have to pay the minimums and all that stuff. And then medicine, I hope, Trump did what he said he was going to do with the prescription drugs. A $10 prescription drug for the last 5 years, this year I went to fill it, was $50. It's the same drug. It's generic. It hasn't changed. How is it $50 from $10? Maybe $20 if there's, a crazy inflation for the dollar, but not $50, And imagine if this was insulin, and this is a life-saving medicine. And so, this does drive me up the wall. It drives me bats, and let alone, what if you have, say, a mental health issue, and you need those, norepinephrine or all those other stabilizers, mood stabilizers. I'm trying to find the layman's term for it to help you exist, to help you calm down those spikes in your mental health. And now you don't have that. Now you can't afford that. And then now the police is being caught on you because you were just having an unfortunate day, and then God forbid you're African American or even Hispanic, and they think you're dangerous and they shoot you, and that is the real problem with America, is the healthcare system. Yeah. And so I want to just let the government know and let the people know, to solve this, first we need to burn all the insurance companies down. Okay, it's not helping. They're driving the cost up too much. It's ridiculous. Okay, insurance is not protecting you. Insurance company is making a profit off of you. Second, we need more doctors. So I don't know what organization is out there that's preventing the number of doctors being created in this country, let alone protecting them from suicide or leaving the profession. But those organizations need to step up. We need to increase the number of doctors, and we need to prevent the doctors from leaving the practice. Because I get it. If you, my colleagues that finished medicine, they're telling me, I'm so happy for you. I'm like, why? You became the doctor. They said, no, I'm so happy you didn't become a doctor. We're working 12 hours a day helping people, getting paid $12 an hour. I said, wow, that's pretty bad. I don't blame people dropping out of their profession.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I said enough.
No, I mean, no, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, because the thing about it, in this country, everywhere in the world, there's a few things in life that you should never profit off of. And medicine is one of them. Because, I mean, we all have a basic human right of life. And, there's a ton of countries out there that don't charge a damn dime and don't have big pharma. But yet, in this country, people are like, well, I don't want to pay extra taxes on I don't want to pay extra taxes. Oh, I don't want to pay into a system where it goes, somewhere else because it might not even go for me. Well, I'm going to go ahead and let everybody in on a little secret. You're already doing that. because if whether you're paying like you are $2,000 a month for your premiums, or it's different, you have a job that you still pay $300 or $400 a month in premiums. Yeah. Then now, say for instance, that premium is now your tax, so you're not paying anything more. But then at the same time, if you spend your $400 or $2,000 a month, whatever your premiums are a month, and never go to the doctor the entire year, where do you think that money goes towards? That heart surgery that you never had that year, or little Susie's broken leg down the street. Somewhere along the lines, your money is not going toward you. So everything you're complaining about, you're already doing.
Tell me about it, brother. I'll give you a little insight. So I went to the ER in Czech Republic. Long story short, there was an accident that forced me to need stitches on my leg. We won't get into the details, but the details is quite humorous. And let's say I was misbehaving, so we'll let your imagination run wild. So a gash on the back of my leg. I go to the ER in Czech Republic, and the guy does the lidocaine, a couple of stitches, patches me up, and sends me off. Right, that ER visit in America would have cost me $3,000. Do you know how I know this? Because recently I cut my finger and had to get 7 stitches on my finger, with a little x-ray and everything. $3,000. You know how much it cost me in Czech Republic? I had to pay cash because, I'm not a citizen. I didn't have socialized medicine. So I said, okay, I'll pay cash. How much is it? $50 US. $50 US, 2 stitches, lidocaine, and a surgeon, well, a doctor at least, sewing you up. $50. And here it's $3,000. Oh, this is with insurance, by the way. What is going on? Imagine if I had something major.
And that's what brings me to my next point. I mean, today kicks off Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Mm-hmm. Cancers in this country alone are running rampant, and there's no way in my conspiracy theory brain that we can be in 2020 and not have at least some type of cure or better system for, cancer. There's no way we don't have that. But, because we're in such a privatized medicine, everything's for profit, and sicker people make more, give you more money, that's the messed up thing that, we're watching millions of Americans die every year of cancer. And some of them don't have insurance, or some of them just can't afford it, even with insurance, and it is a crisis in this country, and nobody seems to talk about it. I mean, one of the biggest things that I can kind of attribute this to is this, and maybe you remember this, maybe not, but a few years back, maybe 5 years back, 4 years back, something like that, I believe it was in Germany, they found a gentleman that had an immunity to AIDS. There was something with his blood that, and then they kind of synthesized that, and now they're kind of making a vaccine, or they're doing something with it over there in Europe.
Yes, I'll explain to you. But
Yeah, something along those lines. Yeah. But then when the news got out here and everyone was all excited about it, and then all of a sudden it just kind of vanished, and nobody's talked about it since. So, can you elaborate something on something like that?
Future Doc House here. I give lectures. So in a nutshell, it's actually a genetic sequence that is very prevalent in the Scandinavian population, which Scandinavian and Germany is quite close. So that region, you might actually carry this genetic sequence that basically makes the T cell not capture the virus. In a sense, the virus doesn't stick to the cell. Okay, in a sense, and if the virus doesn't stick into the cell, it doesn't prevent the immune system from working. It just the virus hits it disappears. You're immune. It doesn't affect you. The virus, you're immune to the virus. The virus will not affect you. It will not get into the host cell and cause havoc. That's the nutshell of it. Now, in order to get this immunity into, say, an average person that doesn't have this gene sequence in them, theoretically, I think they've tried it in a few gentlemen, in a few patients. But theoretically, if you destroy the immune system, do a kind of a blood blood kind of transfusion, but not blood transfusion. It's the marrow, like a marrow transfusion. But in order to give a marrow transfusion, in cancer patients, you have to destroy the immune system, destroy those cells to give the new immunity from the marrow transplant, and then let that take hold to get rid of, usually it's a white blood cell disorder, leukocyte, lymphatic, blood cancer. I can't find the word. Blood cancer. But that's dangerous because you're destroying the immune system to gain immunity from AIDS, from HIV. So it does exist. It can theoretically happen. They have tried it on some patients. It's just not a viable situation for a mass kind of situation for the rest of the population to go through that procedure. And it's very expensive, of course. I think what we've done as a medical community is we've really come down to the point where we have really, really good antiviral agents. And yet, even though we still have to come up with new antiviral agents, due to the fact that HIV is continually mutating, we basically are able to get the patient to outlive HIV. So usually they won't die from HIV. They usually would die from something else like cancer or old age or whatever, things like that. And that's and I think that's the best case scenario at the moment. The problem is that back to the insurance company. If you run out of insurance, if you can't afford these medicine, these life-saving HIV medicine, or if you have some jack, person. I don't know if I can say that word.
You can say whatever you want on this show. That's fine.
If you have a jackass running a pharmaceutical company that makes the life-saving HIV medicine from $100, $300 to $3,000, then we have a problem, and that's unfortunate. But I think we are on the right track with therapeuticals for HIV, so we don't go that route where we try to create the immunity to HIV to everyone.
Yeah, and I think even though I was wrong on my assertion there, I think the point I was trying to make still kind of is valid, because you kind of say it yourself. We heard about it and then it just kind of went away, and we don't hear about the testing, we don't hear about the other stuff like that, and we don't even know what they're doing right now in clinical trials here in America unless you go sign up for one. I think we're out of the loop so much that we come up with our own theories on what's really going on because they're not talking to us. And I think that's part of the issue, my lack of knowledge, maybe make up things in my head or whatever the case might be for that situation. But, I only got a half truth, and I couldn't figure out the reason why. Was it Did they actually cure it over there, or did they just kind of here in America say, no, we're not even going to talk about it anymore? I just didn't know. So, but that's one of the things, we're just out of the loop, and I think that's really doing a disservice, because if we knew that they were at least working on something, yeah, we know they're working on cancer drugs, we know they're doing this, we know they're doing that, we know it's going on, but where are they at? What specifically is going on? What how do we know that our lives are in the right hands?
Well, I always tell people this, that with cancer, we've cured about 90% of the cancers. The other 10% is either very aggressive or, uncurable, let's just say, in a sense. But if you are able to diagnose a patient at an early stage, so where the money should be going to is not actually cancer, say, cures or therapeutics, which are very expensive, but actually diagnostics. And recently, I can't remember which cancers, but now they have a blood test that can catch up to five of the dangerous cancers out there through a blood test at an early stage.
Yeah.
And that's the direction we should be going in. We should be able to, if pancreatic cancer, for example, Ginsburg, and all those famous people, Steve Jobs and so many people from pancreatic cancer, if we can diagnose pancreatic cancer at an early stage, and Chadwick Boseman,
yep.
Through a blood test, a blood test is simple. It's even if it's $100, it's simple. You take the drug, take the blood, you run it through the machine, see if there's these markers for pancreatic cancer. If there is, hey, we need to treat this now. We need to get you on these therapies now. We need to chemo you now, radiation you now. When you're strong, when you're still healthy, when you can fight this battle, and that's what drives me nuts, because if we spent more money on diagnostic research and catch these cancers early, well, you have a 90% chance of being cured. It's the 10% because they diagnosed it too late, or it's an aggressive form of cancer and you're finished. That's the problem.
Absolutely. And going back to, what you just said about the cancers being able to do blood tests for it, I know that, the one of those 5 is breast cancer with the BRCA gene. I remember 2 or 3 years ago, my aunt came down with breast cancer. She survived. Luckily, she had a double mastectomy and everything was good to go. But my grandmother had it as well, years and years ago. So my mom and everybody was like, you know what? Let's just go get tested. Let's go see if we have this gene, because, it won't guarantee that we're going to get it. But at that point, if you do have it, it's a 70% chance of you actually getting it. So we even went and tested my daughters. We tested my mom. Everybody in the family went and got tested. Now, luckily, nobody had it, thankfully, but it's like, okay, at least we have that peace of mind. And if they did have it, then it's like, okay, so where do we go from here? So, there's all these things that are available to us that sometimes we just don't know about. And I think you're 100% right. You hit the nail on the head. Being that we don't know about it, we tend to kind of poo-poo it off, and then it's too late.
That's the truth. And then now we're going back to the medical industry, because let's say you do have cancer. Chemotherapy is $60,000 a year, or at least for that treatment. It's not just one shot. You got to keep going, small dose at a time until you can reach a tolerable dose, which is pretty high, which is the effective dose. And then that's the dose you're vomiting, you're losing your hair, you're miserable. And if you're not strong enough and you can't survive that, they just let you know. If you can't get through the chemo, get your situation in order. And that's tough. That's the problem. But if you can get diagnosed early, where you still are strong, your immune system is still strong, you've got some meat on you, you can get through it. You can get through the chemo. It's rough, okay? But if you're already sick and dying, in a sense, stage 3 cancer even, and you're going on chemo, well, it's tough. And there are many fighters out there, but there's also many that just can't handle it. It's not pretty. The chemo is so bad. They have to give it to you in slow doses. Otherwise, you will react badly to it. It's poison. They're using poison to kill a tumor, poison a cell. You got to poison the cell, and in doing so, you're poisoning your body. It's unfortunate that's the go-to therapy at the moment. Especially when there's a lot more better therapies, even though it's more expensive, but then we're back to the same problem. Will the insurance company pay for it? You know?
Yeah.
That's,
And it's sad that we actually have to ask that question.
it's horrible we have to ask that question.
It is. And people just don't get it. And, you know, do your research, people. I mean, I guarantee you that if you have any, I'm not talking directly to you, I'm talking to the audience, but I guarantee you if you have Canadian friends, I guarantee you at least half of your Canadian friends that actually immigrated here from Canada actually keep dual citizenship just so they can keep their free medical care in Canada. I bet you everything I own that at least half of them have done that, because I've known every single Canadian I've known that has migrated here, not born here and just call themselves Canadian. I'm talking about migrated here, have dual citizenship for that exact reason. And nobody, you know, and they just talk about how bad it is up there, but it's really not.
I mean, I think I read something in the papers that, you know, they're not only smuggling, say, fentanyl and some of the harder drugs from Canada to America, but I think they found somebody smuggling insulin. Insulin. Are you kidding me? And they got in trouble for it, but he was smuggling insulin from Canada to America. It's ridiculous that you have to cross the border, you know, to get a life-saving medicine so that you can survive, that you can live. It's disgusting. It's heartbreaking too.
It really is. And it's, you know, it's something that I hope, you know, at least we start seeing change on. That, you know, there's been little changes here and there, but every time a change happens that, you know, affects people's money, they immediately start talking about, let's go ahead and repeal it. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's change that. It's not right. And You know, I mean,
I used to work for Big Pharma. I know.
Yeah, I know. And I'm not, like, I'm not just talking to you. I'm talking to them. But it's just sad, you know. And I haven't worked for Big Pharma, but I have worked on the front side of it because I was a store manager for, you know, 2 different retail chains.
Okay.
So, and we manage the pharmacy. You know, even though we have nothing to do with the pharmacy, we still manage it to manage the people, manage the money, and so on and so forth. And you know, I remember days when my pharmacist manager would come to me and say, "Hey, you know, we're down this week. However, I know for a fact I've got Mr. Blah, blah, blah coming in this week, and he's going to pick up 2 cancer drugs, so we'll be all right. We'll make the sales this week." And that's sickening. That she would, know that it was coming up on auto refill coming up soon just so she can plan on those sales. But it's like, don't worry about it. Mr. So-and-so, he's got $24,000 in cancer drugs coming up this week, so we're going to be just fine, boss. It cringed every time something like that happened.
Yeah, well, I didn't do any better. I went to the doctor and I said, "Yeah, our drug is way too expensive. Do not prescribe our drug." And I did this in front of my sales manager. And it was funny because, you know, I think all the doctors are just kind of used to prescribe my drug, prescribe my medicine, you know, sell my drug for me, make me hit quota. And I told him, I said, "Don't do it. No." And he looked at me, he's like, "What?" I said, No. I mean, you've got your patients under control. You know, their situations under control. Don't use my medicine. Then he finally said, "Well, what's good about your medicine?" I said, "Well, my medicine is only good for these type of patients, but I don't know if you have any of these patients because you're a good doctor. I think all your patients are going to be stable." And he said, "You know what? I have 3 patients I've been trying to get stable. Where's your samples?" He took my samples. So you know what happened? My sales manager in my car, I was driving her around, asked me, "Why did you tell him not to prescribe?" I said, "Because everything else wasn't working." So I took the cell away, and he actually took 3 samples. So I don't know. I think it might work.
A little bit of reverse psychology there. I love it.
I get it. No, I get it. I mean, if you're a doctor and you know what's best for your patients, why use my $100 prescription medicine when you've got them stable on $20, $30. You know, I get it, and you know what? For me, it wasn't about the sale. It was just like I just had fun educating the doctors about medicine, about new things, and that's why they told me you should be a doctor. Don't be a pill pusher. And so here I am. I studied medicine, but not quite there yet.
Yeah, and it's funny that you mentioned that, because I remember when I was first going through my diagnosis phase of, you know, my mental illness, and they weren't sure. So, you know, like they do with all mental illness patients, they make you a guinea pig. They start you off with one, and if this doesn't work in a couple of weeks, come back and see me. We'll change you to a different one, and you just start doing this round robin of SSRIs and everything else like that, and blah 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 blah. So I remember the first time I got it, they prescribed me Zoloft, and as I was leaving, you know, going to sign out and pay my copay, you know, the pen I signed, you know, the thing at was a Zoloft pen. You know, the calendar that was sitting there was a Zoloft calendar. It's like, oh, I know why I got Zoloft. Now, it made me suicidal, and I came off that stuff real quick, and now I'm on Lexapro, and I've been good with Lexapro since, but it was just like, that was the funniest thing to me. I'm like, I've never witnessed it. I've always known that kind of stuff happens, but to actually witness it firsthand in such a, you know, a blatant way was hilarious to me.
Yeah, we got shipped, I think something like 10,000 pens. And we would just we'd literally walk into every office with like 25 pens and go, oh, these pens look dried up. Use our pens. We're doing you a service here.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
It was what it was. We were worried about the staff not getting fed well. So, hey, you know, I'm running over to what's a good burrito place, or, you know, place you guys go to? Oh, that place? Yeah, I'm running over there anyways. What would you guys like?
That's awesome.
I'm pretty sure the dog wants something. Could you run in and ask what the dog wants? Oh, it was horrible. We did so many bad things. I remember one time, my sales manager was so I guilted to the doctors. I said, my sales manager's here tonight, and she wants to take you out for dinner. So, we're gonna be here at a 5-star restaurant. You know, don't bring your wife, okay, because we can't pay for her. I know, but yeah, let's be at this restaurant, you know. And all of a sudden, 3 doctors, 3 of their wives, well, you know, 3 doctors with their wives show up, and me and the sales manager, and we're just having a great time on the company. You know, making sure that the doctors are well fed. You know, taking care of the doctors. You know, not selling. It was a social call. It wasn't a sales call.
Such dirty tactics in that industry, man. Oh my God. That's insane. People at home, this shit happens for real. It is not just a joke on some comedy, you know, medical show. This shit happens.
Oh yeah, it's disgusting. I got out of it. I mean, I got out of it. I was too good for the industry, I think.
Yeah, I think you took the much more noble path.
I think I had to. I think it was bad. It was bad. Oh man. But,
go ahead.
But it was fun. I did learn a lot. I got insight on the industry. I did learn what I did not want to do for the rest of my life, and it drove me to this stage of my life. You know, a novelist, film producer, teaching medicine on YouTube, and working on all these fun projects to get more doctors into this country. We need more doctors. We really do.
Yeah, absolutely. I wholeheartedly agree. And nurses too. We need more nurses. Always need more nurses.
Definitely. Actually, in fact, I think we need 10 times as many nurses as doctors, and we need to pay them better. We need to pay them a doctor's salary at this point. They know as much as doctors when it comes to, say, 90% of what they're going to see, the illnesses that they're going to see. Obviously, when it comes to, say, stitches or more finesse type of things that needs to be done by a doctor's hands. Well, then, of course, we'll get the doctor but even PAs, physician's assistants, are very good at sewing patients up. and they're doing a phenomenal job doing that. So things like that. I think just we need a bigger medical staff, really.
I absolutely agree with you. Absolutely. So where can people find your book?
Amazon.com. So find me through JT Madicus, which is hopefully an unusual enough name for you to remember as well as to locate me. The book is Final Diagnosis, No Second Chances. So the first novel is No Second Chances. And sneak peek, the second novel is Final Diagnosis, School of Medicine. So that's where we continue the journey of No Second Chances with these characters that I've written. And then the film, it's all on Amazon. And the film is the first film. I'm not very creative apparently, but it's the working title is No Second Chances, which is kind of the first part of the novel. The novel was too big to shoot the whole thing, so we shot the first, I think, 3 or 4 chapters of the novel as a full feature film. It's got original music commissioned for that film. Great soundtrack. There is a great soundtrack beat in there where it's going to be it's everyone's favorite part of the film at this moment. Those that have seen it. And hopefully it's still in post-production, but hopefully we'll get it out by next year, by early next year. That's the goal. If not by Christmas, but hey, we'll do our best.
That's awesome, man. Dude, you are a funny guy. You're a lighthearted, caring individual, and I love just the path that you've chosen for yourself and your family. I think that's really honorable, and I've had nothing but a blast talking to you this last hour.
Thank you very much, Derek. Let's do this again.
Dude, I would love to do it again with you. I could talk to you for hours upon hours upon hours. You are just an amazing dude, and I had a blast, so I really do appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Yeah, when the movie comes out, we'll definitely talk again.
Let's do it. Cheers.
All right, man. You have a good one now, and you take care of your family. We'll talk soon.
Take care.
Have a good one. Bye-bye. All righty. And that was Thursday, your Friday Eve edition of Suck It Podcast. What a great guy that what JT is. What a really great guy. Had a great conversation with him. I really thoroughly enjoyed it, and I hope you guys enjoyed it too. But tomorrow, I have an amazing singer-songwriter on the show by the name of Chevin Roberts. Beautiful, talented, just amazing lady, and I cannot wait to talk to her. So you'll see that tomorrow night, 8 p.m. East, 5 p.m. West, right here. But until then, guys, stay happy, stay healthy, and as always, stay fucking heavy. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.